Hello people, another beautiful day. Yep, hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. What? Okay, we got a little ROG Ally update here. It's talking about SteamOS. Got two articles, one from Tom for Gamers, one for Gaming on Linux, one from Gaming on Linux. Says here SteamOS gets display configuration and VRR support. SteamOS gets display configuration and VRR support for Asus ROG Ally and ROG Ally X. And then it says a script adding display configuration for the Asus ROG and ROG Ally X was merged into the master branch for Valve SteamOS GameScope compositor on GitHub. Most specifically, the ability for GameScope to now address the full 48 120Hz variable refresh rate range available to both of our Asus Premier gaming handheld. Not only is this yet another sign of SteamOS getting a wider release for more PCs shortly, and based on past Valve comments, we know that bringing it to other handheld is the main priority. It's also genuinely one of the most important features of the ROG Ally handheld. It says here, if you aren't familiar with variable refresh rate VRR technology, you may have heard it called G-Sync, NVIDIA implementation of FreeSync, AMD's implementation. Any implementation of VRR technology allows for display refresh rate to synchronize with the game or 3D application refresh rate in real time, ensuring that visual tears are prevented and the presentation is as smooth as possible within the VRR range. Most display VRR range cut off around 40 Hz, but considering the difficulty of maintaining 120 Hz on a handheld, overall VRR reflex room on Asus ROG Ally handhelds is still quite nice. This isn't the only Steam related update we've seen. We've seen in the recent memory points towards preparation being made for SteamOS on ROG Ally. A SteamOS input layer update adds support for Asus ROG Ally and ROG Ally X button in August, 8 months after Valve made its aforementioned handheld first comments regarding a broader SteamOS release plan. Due to the infamous nature of Valve time, we can't be sure when Valve will capitalize on all of this hype and prep with a complete proper release. Still, since some basic SteamOS 3 port from the community, namely Bazite and Holo ISO, already exists, it's not like Valve needs to rush its own out the door. And then it said this update also highlight that Valve Steam Deck handheld, even the Steam Deck OLED, which otherwise supports HDR at up to 1000 nits, don't support VRR. With VRR support present in SteamOS GameScope compositor for external display and rivaling internal display, one hope that may inspire Valve to include VRR with the eventual Steam Deck 2 whenever that may be. And that's the end of that article. And the one on Gaming on Linux here says GameScope gets improved, ROG Ally support hints at more progress for SteamOS, while Valve previously confirmed that they are indeed working towards a version of SteamOS, used version on Steam Deck for the ROG Ally / ROG Ally X. We're now seeing some of that get into the GameScope. And then it says, for those who don't know all Linux lingo, GameScope is a micro compositor used by default on the Steam Deck and can be used on desktop Linux to manage the output of games in a way that contain and then allow for any transformation on it, like adjusting resolution, FSR, NIS upscaling, full screen mode, and more. Just recently, code was merged by contributors. It's open source into the project to allow for configuring display on the Asus ROG Ally and the newer Asus ROG Ally X from the notes. And then it says this introduced a display configuration for the ROG Ally X handheld. These devices feature the same 1920 1080p with support for VRR as a range limit of 40 to 120 Hz in the EDID And it says, I tested the configuration on 2 separate units, ROG Ally SteamOS 224019 1002 kernel 6.8 and ROG Ally SteamOS kernel 6.11.2. both function the same throughout multiple games with the entire refresh rate slider within Steam to set expectation. This doesn't mean a SteamOS build for the ROG Ally X are due anytime soon. It may still be a while. Well, Valve bringing SteamOS to the ROG Ally X. It's going to take some time, but then you got Bazite and Holo ISO that can fill the gap for now. But I think at the rate that Valve is going right now, especially with the Steam Deck and the Steam Deck OLED out and the way they're doing updates, and of course, you know, working on a Steam Deck 2 for future release, I think it's going to be a while before the SteamOS comes to the like the ROG Ally and other handhelds, but because everything takes time, so Valve would need to prepare for that type of move if they're really serious about doing it. So, you know, only time will tell in all matters, you know. But right now, the Asus ROG Ally and ROG Ally and Ally X is doing, they're doing fine right now. So we'll see as time goes along if this holds up when it comes to like if what Valve says holds up about bringing SteamOS to the ROG Ally. So yeah, you just gotta be patient with situations like that. You can't even rush it, you know. So yeah, I mean they got their Steam, they got their, you know, I mean they're working on so many updates for so many different things. So give it time. Only time will tell. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, the Star Wars Dark Side. Go home. Peace.